Hello again. Yes, we are here once again exploring some things that will help us in this evolution of who we are as human beings and why we're here and how we got here and how we navigate what we're presently experiencing in the Red Rocks of Sedona. Yes, many people think we are out there, but maybe we're in there. But I have a guest today that I've had on before. And I think you're going to find some interesting aspects of who he is. I'm going to recommend that you check out the first segment we did so that you have a background of who he is and how he came to be in his current presence of consciousness, so to speak. And so that's what we're going to explore today in our segment. And we'll be right back after this.
Something is happening in Sedona. This is your community and it's time to come together. 2 days of teachers, sound, and dance.
And this is real, this is really happening.
Truth you won't hear anywhere else for the real changes we're living through.
Those things are the pathway to God.
Divine Alignment. August 15th and 16th at Humankind. Prepare yourself. All are welcome.
Yes, today's guest is Peter Sterling, and with him is another associate of his that we'll explore a little bit about that. Her name is Chenal Brennan, and we want to welcome both of them to the Kathleen Francis Show. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Oh, such a blessing.
Thank you. I was a little bit, I kept telling Chenal, stop talking because I want what you're saying on camera. So the first thing I'd like to do, because I found it incredibly interesting, is your personal relationship and how that, when I looked at the two of you, I have a certain kind of capacity myself to sense when people are very much in alignment. And I didn't really know too much about their relationship, but I mentioned that to them off camera. And I said, you know, you guys really are very well matched, so to speak. And so they shared with me why I felt that. And I'd appreciate it if one of you would kind of divulge what you shared with me off camera, because it's certainly a fascination.
Yeah, well, why don't we let Chenal, my divine associate here, to tell a little bit about how we met, and she can talk a little bit about her background, and then I can chime in.
Yes, that would be lovely.
Well, I met Peter at a Canyon Rose event. Is it Desert Rose?
Desert Rose.
Yes. And
A retreat center.
it is, yes. And I immediately felt a connection to his soul because I knew Peter from an event where I saw him play his harp live at the Creative Life Center. And so I was already aware of his connection to the angels. I didn't know the extent, but I loved his music, and it felt guided for me to meet him in person. And so I shared with him what his music did for my soul. And I feel that was our entry into allowing ourselves to continue our conversation. And we found out that we had a lot of synchronicity. We are born on the same day. We went to the same high school in Newport Beach. And we lived in the same neighborhoods in Newport. So I couldn't deny that there was alignment with what we were experiencing with one another.
Mm.
So I remained curious with his energy, and I wanted to allow God to continue to have us connect.
Mm.
Mm,
And she
nicely
forgot,
stated.
she forgot to mention that we were also born at the same time.
Now
On the
that,
same
I
day.
mean, that is really bizarre. I'm sorry, but
Mhm.
what are the chances of that? Same time, same day,
Yes.
and how many years apart?
32 years apart.
Isn't that incredible?
So we have what's called an age gap relationship, which is
Yes.
it's kind
Which
of
means absolutely nothing.
it's kind of
It's
trendy
true.
these days. So what she forgot to mention is that we were also born at the same time on the same day.
No way.
Now on our birth certificate, it's 1 second apart,
One
but
minute.
or 1 minute apart.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
1 minute apart, but
please.
virtually it's basically the same time.
Mhm.
And for me, when we realized that, I think for both of us, that really got our attention.
I'll bet.
And it was like the universe was giving us signs that, hey, this is a significant connection and relationship, and you guys should explore your connection, which we did. And, as she said, we met at a party and had a nice connection there. And then we met up the next day, and we've been joined at the hip ever since. And a lot of magical things have happened for us since
I
then.
am sure.
Yeah.
What a lovely, lovely, extraordinary beginning to who you are, to be in union with someone. For me, because I've had the privilege of some extraordinary relationships that I've been blessed with. One of them was Kabir Bedi, who is an international celebrity and film star and such, and the power of our relationship was undeniable. And that's another side story that we might talk about. But the bottom line is that attunement had nothing was going to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some other interesting things to it. But
Sure.
and after all these years, he's married to someone else. But I still connect with him because the dynamic of that. So the reason I even brought him up was because here's this extraordinary man who, if you're going to say God made the most handsome man, it would be him with lips that are to die for. And I broke up with him. Now, who would do that? I'm sure nobody ever did break up with him. But I had this dream and I saw this big scissors go like this and cut the cord between us. And I'm sobbing and crying on the phone with him and say, he wanted to come and see me. I says, no. And I mean, these are strange things that happen. But and I don't even know why I'm even bringing this up, but that was, and there was a point that I'm missing because it's got me back there in the experience of what that was to be with him. Oh, I know. He said to me, this is what he said to me. He said, Kathleen, you're not looking for man. You're looking for God. He knew me that deeply.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I think that, thank God I got the point back, because I think, my opinion, when you can connect the way that the two of you do, and it's all too unfortunately rare, I think, that I know when I was with Kabir, that experience brought me into Kundalini opening. I don't know I was there. Now, his parents were part of the inner circle with Gandhi. I mean, he's like not only a celebrity, but his spiritual background is so deep. So I think that on the journey that we're talking about with you, and I want to explore more about because in my show with you, you talked about how you were guided. that's the nature of what I want to share today.
Mm.
Because, you know, are we, do we have free will? Do we really? Is everything predestined? Is everything that's happening to us what we don't have a real choice about? I mean, I've gotten so deep into the big questions. My whole life I have, but with the passing of my beloved nephew, it's caused a certain eruption into the vulnerability that I feel right now. And that's true for my whole family, I know.
Mhm.
So when you have talked about guidance, I would like to hear a sharing with both of you, how you experienced that and how you surrendered to that.
Mhm. Well, for me, um, connecting with my inner guidance was something that started as a child. And we may have spoke about this on our previous talk, where I spoke about my beloved grandmother, who was a mystic and a soul traveler and a meditator, and she was very much uh, involved with the spiritual science of Eckankar, which is
Oh,
the ancient
yes.
science of soul travel. So my grandmother was a very advanced soul traveler. She was in the church growing up, Southern California family, was in the Episcopal Church. She tried different. She was always searching. My mother's mother, my Irish grandmother,
Mhm.
and but there was something in the church that just wasn't fully there for her. And then when she discovered Eckankar, it was like this is what she had been looking for, and she became very adept at the practices, the meditation techniques, and the soul travel techniques of Eckankar. So, and I write about this in my book. So she started whispering in my ear as a young boy because she was a caretaker of mine when I was growing up. And she would often tuck me into bed at night. I have very fond memories of being a little boy, and she would tuck me in and kiss me on the forehead and then tell me a story. And she was a wonderful storyteller. And I was just enchanted by her storytelling. And then as I was falling off to sleep at the end of her wonderful story, she would always whisper to me, Peter, listen to your inner voice. Listen to your inner voice over and over. Growing up with her, she was just. So then I started to hear this voice, this still small voice inside that was always there, kind of guiding me or talking to me, like my higher self or my soul. And so I've had that connection. I think she planted the seed. And then, of course, as I got older and then connected with the angelic energy that came into my life, then through that initial opening of hearing my divine guidance, then they came in really strong. And then they have been a big part of my divine guidance is connecting with my own personal, like guardian angels. But I have a whole group that I work with who is always guiding me because we work together very closely to bring the angels' music or the music of heaven to earth on the harp because that's my work is with the harp.
Absolutely.
But really, I think that the key, and I wrote that in my book, is my dear beloved Mamo. We called her Lucy Hughes. She really planted that seed to listen to the inner voice, and I think that's something for our listeners or your audience here is to people want to know how to connect with the inner voice, and I think the key to this is you have to find quiet time. You have to go into the silence and block out all the chatter and the static of the world and find a quiet place where you can sit. There's a famous quote. I forgot who said it, but it's very famous. It says, all of man's problems and ills stem from his inability to sit quietly in a room by himself. This is something people have a really hard time doing. So this is the key. If you want to find and connect with your inner guidance, find a quiet place. Use the noise-canceling headphones or earplugs, which I do a lot, and just sit in silence. Here in Sedona, we can hike out into the canyons here, which is where so much came. And I love to sit in the silence. I was just out yesterday on my mountain bike, riding way out, and I love to just pull over and just sit. And I just listen to the silence in these ancient canyons. There's a wonderful stillness. And this is the portal and the energy that Sedona has. So that was very important for me. What about you, Chenal? How do you connect with your inner guidance?
That was beautiful.
That was.
I really love how you expressed that, and I think that it really gave our audience an opportunity to consider that very aspect of what that means. And I hope we're whispering in your ear about this. Chenal?
Well, thank you so much for this question that you've gifted us. I have also experienced my own form of heightened guidance since I was a child. I was experiencing spirit at very young ages. And I thought that everyone was experiencing spirit at that level. I just thought it was normal.
Right.
And I was having outer body experiences at, young ages, probably around 5 or 6 or so. And it was beautiful because I was able to cultivate how to connect to my soul and then like take myself out of myself, and be able to have a different kind of upbringing with spirit as a ally, as far as I've experienced loved ones at a young age, as far as, ones in the physical realm, even, family members of my family that would come through to come visit me.
You mean from the
From
other
the spirit
side?
realm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so,
Even as a young child?
yes.
So what we want to do, and because not everybody knows the same things we do, so Chenal is a medium. She has mediumship abilities, and that is a particular gift that not everyone in our spiritual community has a capacity for. But now what you're saying is this actually started at a very young age.
Yes. For me, it was, as I was saying earlier, the norm.
Yeah.
I don't really recall a time when spirit did not come at such a heightened level for my soul. I knew I was always different. And so that was, for me, guidance at a young age. And as I got older, I continued to trust that what I was experiencing was real, because I had people in my life that played a role of kind of telling me it was in my mind, or, it just wasn't of maybe the most support. And I thank them, right? Because I learned to cultivate more self-trust in what I was receiving. But it didn't leave. I had different addictions that manifested themselves.
Wow.
And I thought that a part reasoning for some of my drug abuse was due to wanting to kind of not experience the paranormal as much as I felt I was. I thought maybe it would kind of lower my frequency.
Shut you down.
Wow.
And as I learned, it actually just created a sense of fear around what I was experiencing, as well as it skewed my perception.
Wow.
So for me, I have been connected to my guides since a young age and archangels. But that is my connection with the spirit realm.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't as if some of my guests have had they had a path of exploration and education, and basically kind of both of you had an early system of guidance that you trusted. There wasn't something where you had adulthood and you decided, well, I'm going to study this, because there are a lot of people who do teach channeling techniques and many things along that line. So there are things that people can learn. I mean, what would you suggest to our audience, respectively, for them to learn how to reach those levels, or at least some part of that for themselves? Do you have an idea? I mean, you did say.
Well, Chenal was just talking about her awakening to this, but when she became more of an adult, that's when she actually did go to school to learn more. So she did have formal training, even though she was naturally gifted.
Right.
But then it got to a point where she wanted to go deeper into it. Why don't you talk about some of the training you did?
So when I decided to get healthy in my life, like
Yes.
connect to my heart center, which that's another synchronicity between us, because I was following like Doreen Virtue,
Oh, yes.
and I started submerging myself in like angel intuitive certification and whatnot. And from there on forward, I just continued to take either courses on mediumship so that I could hone my abilities, so that
Yes.
I could learn tools or techniques, so that when I am sitting with someone, I'm truly coming from a place of more practiced discipline with spirit. And I had my own mediumship business, but also I take courses at a school called Arthur Finley. And I did work with a mentor who was trained from that school and works extensively with well-trained mediums whom are truly of service to humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was going to actually go to FIDM in Orange County. I was set to go.
Which is the fashion school.
Yes, Fashion Institute.
Well, I can understand that. You're
Design and
beautiful.
merchandise. Thank you.
She is a bit of a fashionista.
Yes, I can see that.
Well, and I told the admissions counselor that I could not attend. And I told him, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to pursue being a medium. And he's like, no, I don't think you're crazy. We have some students that they decide to go that path. He just wanted me to make sure I was going to be taught or going to be trained by someone who was truly, in alignment with doing things at a higher level. And I assured him that that was what I would do. So, it was important for me to continue to receive the training.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things that's consistent is people who are like you are very much committed to being in service.
Mm-hmm.
And so the very nature of everything that you do is designed to help people, to help heal people. And I know that you have products that you also use and engage in, as do I. And, we do our best to bring that forward.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I'm having an issue with my nose having my sniffing. And I know you brought something here, and I thought,
I did. And
talk about
well,
that.
you were talking about being of service. And for me, the theme or the focal point for me, as far as the soul directive in this life, like many of us here, I understood that I was a light worker.
God bless me. We're going to see if this water can do something to me.
But I was going to say, I've just had that as an orientation in my life, like many of us. And as a light worker, we're here to share the light.
Yes.
And to bring light into the darkness. And when you're a light worker, and maybe some of your viewers here can relate, wherever we go, we're always trying to raise the vibration, even the conversation. We love talking about spiritual things. We don't like talking about necessarily mundane things like that, but what really engages us is talking about spirit and light. And,
Yeah. We have an appetite for it. That's
we
the way I
love that.
I'm Italian.
Yeah.
So
So we're always
all
bringing
about
the
the
light
food.
wherever we go. And I brought some liquid light today, and I just
Yay.
thought we would bring this today because we're so excited about this. And of course, not only am I a musician and author and I have my tour company here, but I'm also in the wellness space because I love to find transformational products and technologies that can assist us in
Yes.
raising our vibration, regenerating,
Mhm.
and unlocking codes in the DNA
Yes.
to illuminate
Mm.
ourselves into the next phase of human evolution, perhaps, which could be us all developing our light bodies. And I think most people here who are on their spiritual want to receive more light and want to vibrate higher and be able to emanate or project more light into the world through however you do that, however you express. We want to bring
Right.
light. But this is one of the most powerful tools I've felt is, of course, the patch by LifeWave X39, which uses low levels of light frequency to signal the body into a really deep regenerative process that activates stem cells. But also LifeWave just came out recently with their new water technology
Right.
called X2O, which infuses water with frequencies of light, 6 different frequencies of light that David Schmidt, the inventor and the CEO of LifeWave, discovered as he was cracking a Bible code using gematria, which is the correspondence of Hebrew letters with numbers. And he's being guided by a higher power. And he discovered a repetitive numerical code in the book of Genesis. And then it led him to discover 6 different frequencies there, which are now infused into this water. So I brought some water.
And I'm going to drink it.
And we get to drink it on air here for everybody. And this water is charged with light. It's
Thank
a
you.
new type of water we've never had. So cheers to your health. You just take
yeah.
that down and let's see what happens. She might just turn into a luminous being right before our very eyes. And she was saying she was a little bit sad because of a loss in her family at the start. So we'll just see how this makes her feel and just chug it on down. I love drinking it. Just
Yeah.
for that full
I'm going
rush.
for it.
That's how we do it. We just drink it down. And but you might just notice how you feel after a minute or two. And if it changes, you're kind of...
Well, we know one thing for sure is I've got something going on with my nose and sneezing. And because you had asked me if I have a sensitivity. And a lot of times I've taken supplements and everybody else feels it and I don't. So we'll see.
How's it taste?
It tastes good. Yeah, it tastes like water.
That's a good well water from my house here. Yeah.
So should I drink it all?
Yeah, go for it.
I
Why
will.
not?
So explain a little bit more about the technology and about LifeWave.
Well, David Schmidt, it took him, I think this was in development for about 10 years. But he's just a brilliant inventor. He's got about 200 patents worldwide. And this was something he was working with his engineering team to bring forth. It's now X2O is a tabletop unit, countertop unit, about as big as a microwave oven. The prototype was 9 feet long and was a huge thing. But his engineering team put it down, scaled it down into a tabletop unit called X2O. And it's fascinating. The water is first purified, then it's infused with molecular hydrogen. But the main component of the machine is it restructures the water and it changes the geometry of the bond angle of hydrogen and oxygen. Because water is H2O. It's a hydrogen and oxygen, right?
Yes.
And it bonds, the molecules of hydrogen and oxygen bond in a particular way. Well, this device, you put water in, it takes 45 minutes to process it. And it changes the geometry of the water, of the molecular
And you can
structure.
see that?
Well, you can't see it with your eyes, but you can taste it and
Yeah.
feel it. And then because it's restructured, he's also infusing the water. The device infuses water with 6 different frequencies, the photon light, including what resonates to 432 hertz, which is kind of the harmonic of the universe. Nikola Tesla was into 432. And also it includes 528 hertz, which is a solfeggio love frequency for DNA repair. So that's in there. But it's fascinating because, David Schmidt, he's really into longevity. He wants to extend the human lifespan
Yes.
because he's a very devout Christian. And when you read the Bible, People, before the flood, they lived in Noah's time. They lived to be 6, 7, 800 years old. Something
Correct.
happened to the humans where, that was just not a
yeah.
metaphor.
No, but a lot of
this was
people think,
really
oh, that's
true.
just,
No, it's not a myth or anything like that.
That's
People
really what-
did live these long
Yeah.
lives, but something happened. So David has been on this quest to discover and unlock these keys, the keys to longevity and bioregenesis and the immortality codes that are perhaps they're stored and pre-encoded in our DNA, and they're just waiting for us to figure it out. And David,
Yes.
there's a new documentary, I'll just draw reference to it here, called Code of Creation. And you can go on YouTube. It's on at Netflix, I think, now, Code of Creation. And it's the story of David and how he made these discoveries. But what's really fascinating, I'll just touch on this for a second.
Sure.
He studies different species that have really long lifespans. And one of the main species is the lobster, because lobster can live well over 100 years old, lobsters, and they just get stronger. They don't really age.
Wow.
So he was studying lobster blood in his laboratory, and he had these very sensitive kind of photonic detectors so he was seeing what kind of light frequencies are coming off of lobster blood. And what he detected was that the frequency off of lobster blood is very resonant to 432 hertz, which is that universal harmonic. So that is in the water, what you're just drinking. So how does it feel? You feel it?
Yeah, I think actually
What do you notice?
that tickling in my nose has simmered down.
Oh, good.
This is good.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe this was divinely orchestrated, because this has never happened with me on the air, and all of a sudden I'm getting something that could be definitive, so to speak. Yeah, I'm feeling better already. Yeah.
See, maybe you won't sneeze anymore.
No, that's what I'm counting on.
And how about when you started, you were a little sadness there because of loss. How are you feeling kind of in your emotional body now? Are you still feeling that same, or has that changed at all?
That's a hard one,
It is a hard
Peter.
It's a heavy one.
It's heavy, very heavy.
Let's give it a minute. We'll check back in.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got to try the light infused water. For the
Yeah,
first
no,
time.
I think that was wonderful. You had mentioned that last time, and I said, yeah, let's explore that and see what we can do in terms of, again, I think that what we're learning and bringing is all kinds of different aspects of what we can present to people to raise their vibration, as you're saying, the frequency of who they are, and use tools that they, on the third dimension, like this, to be able to make, because I think the mind wants to have something physical as well as something spiritual, to bring some clarity into the possibilities of what we're designed originally to be able to do, which is talked about in the Bible. And I think that we are, as I know we are in agreement, we are so much more than what we appear to be. And there's been a concerted effort by, I'm not sure who, to keep toning down who we really are. And they're doing it through food, through fluoride in the water, through all of these things that they're saying is good for us. And we know that that's not really the agenda. So anyway, but I appreciate you bringing that to me. And today happens to be my beloved nephew's mother's birthday. We record and then we air it later. And, I know that this has got to be really a hard day for her. And I feel so that's it. It's, what's challenging for me is when something like this happens, it just feels like it's inappropriate to stop crying.
Well, you know what I'm feeling right now is I brought my little harp with me.
Yes.
Why don't we let me play a little bit, and
Yes.
let me see if I can play with the angels and kind of soothe your soul. And
Please.
maybe I'll just open myself up to receive some sounds for your nephew.
What a
and
great,
for the two of you
Thank
and for
you.
your family.
I really appreciate
And
it.
let's see how that sounds just for a minute. and then we'll check back in with you after. Okay, is that good?
I love it.
All right.
Thank you. Wow. That's, I mean, it is so angelic.
Yeah, just a sweet little melody to sing to the heart.
Yes.
Melody has a way of communicating to the heart. That's the power of a
Yes.
sweet melody.
And I know that people that play the harp, they've had people that have jointly had group who were ill and that they healed from playing the harp.
Oh, for years I would go into the hospital and play at the bedside. People in the critical care units here at the Verde Valley Medical Center when I was first starting. And the doctors would follow me around because they were amazed at the response that the harp would have on the patients.
Wow.
And the whole wing, all the doctors and the nurses, they just loved having me there because it just created a feeling of peace and serenity in a very stressful, intensive
environment.
Care unit is very stressful.
Yep.
There's a lot of people who are in pain and suffering there and in deep recovery. And the harp and the angelic energy with the harp that I would bring through.
Absolutely.
For years, I considered myself like a doctor of music.
Oh, that's great.
I'd walk into the hospital with my harp, kind of like with my medicine bag, and walk in, and they would, oh, here he is, go right ahead. So that's how I learned. I remember one time I went into a room and there was an older woman all hooked up post-op. And I came in and she saw me in the harp. She said, no, I'm not ready for you yet.
That's cute. That's cute. Oh, I love it. Yeah. Now, how does that impact you when you hear his music?
It definitely brings a sense of peace. And I feel like it allows me to connect to my soul, where there's a sense of remembrance as well.
Ah, yes.
And like his music brings me into a state of, it feels like coherence with the angelic part of myself. Like it feels like just a remembrance. I think that's, and it provides clarity. And it kind of shows me where I'm holding a narrative or a past memory that keeps coming into my awareness that needs to be let go of.
Interesting.
And of course, depending on the time of when, bless you.
God bless me, sorry.
Don't be sorry. You can, but it's a natural human function.
Don't be sorry, be happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need to be, because like that's actually, I think, your body giving you a signal that it's releasing.
Mm.
It's having a reaction to something that you're experiencing.
Yeah.
But his music, depending on the time that I listen, I receive what I need for my highest good, for healing.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
when earlier in my career, when I met Doreen Virtue, the famous angel book author,
Yes.
and made the angel cards, and we met through synchronicity, and she told me the story in front of one of her big groups where I played my harp for her, that she discovered my music at an expo. I was playing in the lobby, and she bought one of my CDs, took it home, and just fell in love with my first record, Harp Magic. And she had her son put it in the computer for her, so as she was writing, she would be listening to this
Oh,
music.
yes.
And Doreen would tell the story of how that's how she wrote her first Chenal book
Oh,
called Angel Therapy. She was
wow.
listening to my music. She wrote the book in 1 week. It was one of her best-selling books.
Wow.
And she really felt that my harp music opened her up to receive very clear communication from her angels.
Right.
And that book came through very quickly. And so she recommended that to all of her students to use that music for their own writing.
For sure.
And so, by the way, I'll just mention my website is harpmagic.com.
That's what I was going to ask you
Yeah,
to
and the
do.
first album is called Harp Magic, recorded here in Sedona over 30 years ago. I recorded it, released it in 1994 here.
Wow.
And so it's been over 30 years I've been playing the harp
Wow.
and recording my music and playing the angels' music.
Beautiful.
And what did my harp music? I attracted this beautiful angel into my, because I will just say, when I met her at the party,
So sweet.
you know, we started talking. She says, "Well, I know your music." She said, "Oh," I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, I saw you play," and she said, "Your music moved me to tears."
Oh.
And I said, "Oh gosh," I said, "I like this girl." And then when we started, getting to know each other, I discovered she too worked with Doreen. So she had that angel connection too. And that's something I'm always looking for. It's like kind of that angelic spark and that connection. And that was very synchronistic for us. And I just wanted to mention that, we have so many synchronicities to our relation, born on the same day,
Oh, my
about
goodness.
virtually at the same time, 32 years apart. And we knew that we had a work to do together, that we were being brought together, I think at this time.
God bless me.
I'm
Oh, my
sorry.
goodness.
Brought together at this time of the quickening,
Mm-hmm.
of this spiritual awakening that's occurring. And
Yep.
so, and what happened to us was that shortly after we met, we started having these kind of ET experiences that
really?
I told you about with the light orbs. So,
And you did bring that footage.
well, I have the footage, and we're going to show
Please.
it, but I'll just set it up here that, I had been looking at the sky here with night vision for many years. And then when I met Chenal, I also connected with the ancient alien artifacts coming out of Mexico, and I acquired some of those, and those were on our previous show that we did together. I show
Yes.
some of these, so your viewers can go back and look at that. I didn't bring any with me today. But I started interacting with these ancient artifacts, which are thousands of years old, and I started getting a message that we should go to a particular location and with the night vision and take a look and see what we do. So we went out, and sure enough, we started seeing these orbs. And I happened to be able to record it.
Fabulous.
That's my night vision. I have a digital night vision, which I feed into a video monitor, and I'm filming it with my iPhone. And so I put it up on YouTube, and it really went viral on social media and YouTube. So we have a clip here.
Yes.
Shall we watch it?
Okay, so we'll be right back with this footage because this is something that everybody's talking about, and now you get to see it.
These times can feel heavy, like the world forgot how to hold us. But in the red rocks of Sedona, something is growing, a place to be exactly who you are, to dance, to heal, to be held. We're not waiting for a better world. We're building it. Together. This is humankind. Come home.
Okay, everybody, we're back and with some very exciting footage that I'm so thrilled that Peter brought to us today. So would you go ahead and give us a little intro into what you captured?
Yeah. Well, as I was saying, you know, when Chenal and I met, we really felt like our connection, there was some sort of purpose to it. And we started to receive guidance together. And as I was interacting with these ancient artifacts, I started getting the message that I should go to a particular location in West Sedona with my night vision. I've been looking at the sky with night vision for many years and have seen a lot of things over the years, but I got a direct message that we should go to this particular location, which we did. And we were astonished at what we were viewing. And I happened to have my night vision, digital night vision camera, and which we're going to show a clip as a video camera. And I was able to feed that into a little video monitor and capture this with my iPhone. So that's what you're seeing. By the way, this video is on YouTube. It's called Light Orbs over Sedona. So you can go take a look at it. So this is just something quite astonishing that I captured, and it really has set me off on kind of a new course, because this all happened right at the start of really the big disclosure movement with the government releasing the UFO files with all the videos. Started happening right after we started receiving this. So we really felt that we were kind of galactic ambassadors here to help.
I love that.
With disclosure.
Yeah, we've got to come up with new terms of who we are.
Yeah, so I actually formed a group on Facebook. It's called Sedona First Contact. So please come and join our group, where I put up a lot of videos and a lot of stuff is there in that group. So please come join our community, Sedona First Contact. But let's take a look at this now. This is one of the original videos I captured, which has gone viral on YouTube and social media. So here we're looking out west over the Sycamore Canyon area, and you can see just these beautiful luminous orbs just rising up, coming out of the hills almost. What's really fascinating is there's lots of legends and stories over the years that this area is perhaps an underground government base. Maybe they're in cahoots with the ETs, have a underground base there. So this almost looked like they were just floating right up into this. Look at the light coming off of these orbs rising up. And you can see, you know, all over here, there's many all around it, but they just keep coming up. This is the Sycamore Canyon area here, which is famous for UFO activity. And the Bradshaw Ranch is just more over to the right.
Yeah.
But truly a very unique phenomena that we captured here. Of course, there's satellites in the night sky, which we see a lot, but these seemed to be much more luminous than most normal satellites. So I'll let the viewer draw their own conclusion. You can see it's almost like they're dancing up in the night sky.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is a lot of the ancient artifacts coming out of Mexico. Oops, so I'll just get out there here. I'll just play it again.
Yeah, my friend Roger
There's a longer version here.
Yeah, Roger Robbins Justice the other day
a different video.
brought me.
Oh, okay.
He brought me a lot of phenomenon that he captured, and he wasn't sure what to do with it. So I want to make an introduction to you too, and have him show you the footage he's got. That's very unusual.
I would like to see it.
I mean, there's evidence showing up that's quite, shall we say, not able to neglect or to, there's not, you can't disbelieve it when it's right there in video.
Sure.
And he's got all of this footage that he's got, that because he goes out on the desert and searches.
Well, we're seeing this most nights we go out. Of course, this was an exceptional capture here.
Yeah.
But I'm actually doing nighttime UFO tours now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, so people go to my website, harpmagic.com, and you'll see UFO tours. So if you want to come out at night and look through the night vision, look at this luminous one.
Oh my gosh.
And talk about a power up. That's what they call it, powering up.
Yeah.
When they light up like that. This is just really quite it was, and on the video you can hear our reaction.
Oh,
And
for
Chenal is
sure.
on there with her really cute reaction too. So
Yes.
she was a big part of it, and we really felt like our coming together was perhaps to capture this,
Wow.
to start sharing. So we've been doing these tours, and Chenal comes out. She does these wonderful kind of invocations, calling forth the
how
light ships.
beautiful.
And well, look at this one here. Look at the
Oh
size
my
of that.
gosh.
Isn't that quite
That
astonishing? Right?
is so amazing.
So really, really a unique capture here
For
in
sure.
Sedona. And I just felt, plus this is kind of right at the time when the war is breaking out.
Oh, yes.
So really things are on high alert right
Sure.
now because the situation is very critical right now. So we feel like they're really coming in force now they want their presence. I mean, just look at this luminous orb. I
Right.
mean, this is not a normal satellite coming up.
No,
So,
that's just
once again, you have to draw your own conclusion, but it is an extraordinary curiosity that is occurring out here over the western canyons of Sedona. So if any of your viewers like to come out, please let me know. We'll
okay.
take you out at night and you can see firsthand and experience for yourself.
Well, I would love to have more of this exposure for all of our audience, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to take a quick break.
So take care of that nose of yours, and we'll get back with you in a minute.
Yeah. I don't know. I actually never have had this happen to me. So I'm not
Well,
sure
it
what's
started
going
before
on.
you arrived, right?
Just,
I hope you're not allergic to us.
that's great. Can you put that on camera?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It's like, gee.
How much more time do we have left?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, do you feel like you want to do any channeling or should we not?
We could do
Whatever you want. I'm going to
We can
turn
do a
off this video
meditation.
now. So one thought was that, maybe to end, I could play the harp again and we'll do something really angelic and she can call in the angels for us and maybe with the audience and to help them to open up to receive their divine guidance now, because a lot of people out there, they don't have that connection so strong. So maybe with our energy here, with the harp, we can just create a space where, and Chenal can guide them into maybe making that connection. And we don't have to go too long. I don't know, 3 or 5 minutes, something like that. How much?
That works.
Is that good? 3 to 5
Does
minutes?
that seem right, John?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Then you can
it's-
introduce us.
Yes, I will.
So would this be the last closing segment then?
I think this will be the closing
Okay.
segment.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I hope that really touched your hearts and made you become aware of something that is evident here. And I think a lot of other people around the country are also capturing some of this orb phenomenon. But right now, we're going to close out our segment with the beautiful work that both of them do. And he will play the harp, and we're going to allow our lovely Chenal to bring forward something for everyone who's watching today. If you would be so kind.
You can gently close your eyes, placing your hands on your knees, just allowing yourself to connect into your heart center, putting your awareness into this space that you've so beautifully incarnated in this lifetime to feel. And we just ask that the highest unconditionally loving energies, our archangels, guides, loved ones, whom are in alignment with our highest good. Please be of support and guidance as you allow yourself to connect to your heart. Now, if you'd like to just take a gentle inhale through your nose and a long exhale through your mouth. You don't have to do anything in this present moment. You just need to receive. And trust the guidance. That is for you. You are so loved. Nothing else exists but this present moment. And trust that you have the tools within you to co-create the life that you deserve to embody this lifetime. And now one more inhale through your nose. And a long exhale through your mouth. Please remember, you are never alone.
Beautiful. Lovely, both of you. I hope you'll be on my show again. Little shout out to my sister-in-law, Annette, for her birthday today. And make sure that you all love each other to the maximum. Appreciate everything that you contribute to each other each day in this very intense and beautiful time that we're all experiencing. So with that, I thank you both for being on our show, coming to you right here from Humankind. And I give lots of recognition to Ray Fields Miller and Maria Gomez for their contribution to our show, and certainly to Humankind and John Strayer, who always is doing an impeccable job here. So make sure that you see ways to participate here at Humankind in Sedona, Arizona, and make sure you find out more about these two wonderful people and what you can access.
What's your website?
It's ChenalMedium.com.
Chenal spelled?
CHANEL.
One L. All right. One L and one N?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate your being here. And again, I would love to have you on again. I know you're going to be moving away for your son's schooling in Phoenix.
I'll be in and out. So
All right. And we'll
Stay
make
in
sure that we'll stay in touch and be sure that you're on the show again. Okay?
okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching. You have a beautiful day and a beautiful week ahead. Bye-bye. Thank you.